Right around the time the Oakville assembly plant got up and running well and truly, Carroll Shelby was in the business of winning races for Ford. The Cobras were legendary. He was just beginning to win Ford's first and only world championship for sports cars. And then just a few years later, 4 straight wins at Le Mans with the GT40 project that he was heavily involved in. Well, there is a brand new Shelby now.
Who cares about any of that? It's got 550 horsepower, 510 foot-pounds of torque, a 6-speed Tremec in it, and I don't own a bolt in it.
Well, be that as it may, these things are rare as hen's teeth, and we could only get one for one day. So if it rains, it rains. This GT500 makes 550 horsepower. It makes 510 foot-pounds of torque. It's a pity we can't really use much of it in this setup because even though we have traction control, we're on a fairly bumpy road right now, and we're right in front of the Ford facility, so we really don't want to make a scene.
Mine's so far out of warranty, I can't even go talk to the Ford guys about it, but since this one belongs to the VP of Ford, I ain't afraid to break it.
It's a good reason to keep Andy around because he's so politically correct. You know, VPs do watch television, Andy. This could be the last time you ever drive a Shelby. All right, getting up to speed here on what would be 50 miles an hour in the States or around 90 kilometers on this road that's nearby the Ford plant. You just feel the torque as that engine winds up. We're on about 4,500 RPM, the sweet spot for this supercharger. Well, I'll tell you, the car is already head and shoulders better than any other Mustang ever built.
If you really want to get the full experience with one of these cars, if you pony up to $68,000 to buy one of these cars, I highly suggest you pony up a few more bucks and get yourself to a track day. Actually go out and find the limits of this car. On a wet pavement day, it's pretty hard to stuff your foot into it too far.
My concern was that, say, over the 418 horse GT or 5.0 model with all aluminum engine, my concern was that it would be overpowering. Not so. The traction control, very intuitive. The stability control, which we've needed a couple of times in this drive, does its job, but it's not intrusive at all. The fact is, what we're driving here is an icon.
If you go on Ford of Canada's website, they advertise this car as having 550 horsepower, 510 foot-pounds of torque. They also go on about how it makes better fuel economy than last year. Who in the hell would buy one of these and care? You couldn't have more fun with a company credit card in a whorehouse. This thing's awesome.
Interior-wise, the layout is all Mustang, and I've become used to it over the course of this past summer when we've driven a few of them. But the finishes are, well, they're meant to be turn metal or something like turn metal. There's some Shelby insignias in here, GT500, fairly iconic in that special Shelby script. Frankly, the fit and finish in these cars is fantastic. It always has been. I think they made a couple of little tweaks in here, but you'd definitely recognize it as a Mustang.
Now it does have a back seat. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. You can throw a briefcase back there. It's really not good for much anything. If you got a car like this, you probably got a pretty hot girlfriend. She's probably pretty skinny, which is good because if you do have kids, they're going to have to be small to fit in that back seat.
I'm starting to wonder if you can order one of these cars the way you want it. For example, sunroof delete, and maybe deleting a few other heavy components like a navigation system. The whole point of having a car like this is to set out on a Sunday morning and not make a plan as to where you're going. Just go bombing around and maybe use the sports car to discover a little bit more about your neighborhood or where you live. So it comes down to the question, do I need a car like this? Well, of course not. Nobody really needs a car like this. But do I want a car like this? Well, every time I come first in line at a stoplight, I remind myself, because of this, traction control, and then hallelujah, yeah baby, I want a car just like this.